Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back for another episode of Bastion. Let's see. I think we've got everything set now. We've got 2 challenge places we could do. Although, I'm not gonna try too hard on the Bullhead Court, because there's just nothing that unlocks it and makes it easier. Like one tonic is the only thing I've seen that makes it easier. So we're going to do Pith Orchard. Before we get into Pith Orchard, let me ask you to turn off or whitelist me in the ad blockers, help me make a career. And then after we do Pith Orchard, we'll probably do the scrapyard.
There's Pith Orchard, built in honor of the bull, and folks like Zulf who pray to him.
So, what I want to try and do here is not take any damage when fighting the bull. That would be interesting. Probably won't happen.
The gods, they're all undone. Pith Orchard, place is a dead end in more ways than one.
Invoked 5 of the 10 gods.
Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the orchard core is long gone too.
Where did the core go is the question.
Seems Pith ain't much of a watchdog. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god.
That was cool. I'm scattering their ashes. There really is no respectable and legitimate reason to be doing what I'm doing, especially all the ash things. It's just straight up I'm being a jerk. I mean, you can't think of any dialogue why you would actually want to do that.
Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration.
So, if you were gonna go with the thought that Rux is actually actually a version of the kid from the future, and all that, well then how does he have older knowledge here of when Pith was once an important thing?
He couldn't even save his loyal subjects.
That's just more story.
Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least.
It doesn't really work in the dialogue. I think they wanted to have that be implied, but they needed to have, on the final pass, just changed his hair color from being white and make him look a little different, so there's no question whatsoever he's not an older version of the kid. Because now if they were going to bring that up, if they were going to make a symbol, really,
That Pith lights up like a rodeo. Must have been guarding that shrine.
it would be take a really complicated storyline now to explain how all this timeline organized would go. And really, it's one of those time travel stories that doesn't improve the story by having time travel.
So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off?
That
Kid
could
decides to press his luck. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore.
These guys aren't even coming.
Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him.
Working really well.
Passes Pith's trial, and he's richer for it.
It would be kind of difficult since he's shooting flames and towards you. Take damage. Should he stab you right from there?
Kid ain't found a core, at least he found Zolf's precious shrine.
What is it? The split there, that Zolf is concerned about the old gods and worshipping it, and Rux really isn't. It's not played out really well. It's not explored at all in the story. It's just okay. So Zolf and Ura still worship the gods, and Rux has nothing but disdain for him as far as we can see. There's no real long argument for either way.
Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls.
And the only thing it really does is go to show that Calamity is just not the country you should be rooting.
A repeater goes with a hammer better than a box of nails.
And because of
Leech aid's so
how
sour
heavy
it'll perk you right
has
up when you're feeling low.
the story has been and is throughout, it's very one-sided, really. I mean, it's one-sided against the people that are supposed to be the heroes, when it should have been a little bit of both directions, I suppose. Would be the right way to say that. I got 276 fragments. I am not getting many fragments at all. Look at that. Wow. That was a mistake, was it? I have 276. I barely got any doing that level. And that's with all of these things. Half of these gods invoked. So I'm supposed to be getting a 30% increase in XP. Right. I don't know if the levels are really that balanced. I think they almost certainly aren't. Aren't they? Isn't it? Isn't that the truth of it? That certain levels give you big chunks, and doing specific challenges give you big chunks of fragments, but then there are other we did all of Pith Orchard, and we killed every single person we could see. Probably 100% kill ratio there, and we only got a couple hundred at most. And we had some to begin with. Alright, let's do a scrapyard since it's here, and we'll probably get this done on the first try. Keep our streak going. This would be 5 out of 5 on the first try if we get it done.
That's a scrapyard, where folks got to smash things and call it community service.
Maybe it's just that Rux has
the city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard.
But then, if that was going to be the case, Russ...
Folks who fouled up would do their time here, smashing things to bits.
If it was that they were trying to imply Russ has a disdain for Saldana, then he should be the one suggesting that we leave at the end, spoiler, instead of the other character. It doesn't make sense that he's the one that's suggesting bring it all back, when all we've heard is this horrible stories of how terrible this country is from him, and he's not really sugarcoating it or saying any good things at all.
The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go. Work in the yard did have its risks. Folks learn to plant their feet and put their backs into it. Others would plot a course to navigate that sea of junk. A good day's smashing can feed a family for a week.
Broke the streak by falling off. I broke the streak.
Kid pays another visit to the scrapyard for old time's sake.
Let's try that again.
Worked too slow and all you got was a sore back. Some folks invested their earnings to forge even better hammers.
Oh man, 1 second. I don't think I have the right modifications on the weapon. I believe it's wrong.
Always plenty there for smashing.
I'm glad to have a little bit of trouble. I also have do I have any... Are the gods invoked in this area? Who knows? Time to go back to the Bastion. We've obviously either hit a point where
Ever want to just smash things for a while? You know where to go.
Skill, or sometimes my skill level drops down, sometimes it spikes up. 50% damage. We want that. Focus attack, we don't care. 50% damage, ignore armors. 75% damage. We'll turn off all these. And the only other thing that could possibly be an issue is the distillery. There you go, champagne.
Live wine so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste.
Champagne should work. More thorough, try and stay in the middle of the... I'm missing too many things. Maybe I got lucky last time. Give it a couple more tries and then I'm gonna have to give up. I'm surprised about this. I am really surprised about this.
Strongest, fastest folks earn more than their fair share.
So some of those items can be destroyed by rolling on them, and I think that's probably what I was missing if I had just rolled around a little bit more. Well, I'm glad I got that done. No faking here. That really took me that many tries.
Kids worked the yard before, but that time it just plain destroyed it.
A little bit different commentary. And when programming for all that stuff, it certainly is going to require you to write a bunch of different things. But it's not a lot. The worst idea about why all games aren't all commentated like this is it just would cost a lot of money. I can kind of see and kind of feel how this game could have a few more levels, maybe a few more features, actor, which I don't even know if they pays the voice actor that much, really. But doing voice acting. Recently, before I wrap up, there was a series I did. You can go on my playlist and watch it. It's called The Talos Principle. And it had large sections of the game that was just reading dialogue off a computer screen of a... So it was a computer inside this video game screen, and you're just reading dialogue. And I tell you, about halfway through the series, I just gave up and I said, you know what, I'm not going to read this out loud so that the audience can see it. You can either go online or pause the screen right now and watch and read it yourself, because it was just so much dialogue. And this game has tons of dialogue, but it's all spoken to you, and there's a big difference between having to read in a video game and having something spoken to you. And I'd much rather what I said in the review of that game, in that series, is I would have much rather they'd have just run that text through a text-to-speech program. I don't care if it sounds like a robot telling it to me. I would have much rather heard it spoken than... It doesn't have to be acted, but it needs to be spoken, because it's just too much dialogue. So if they were going to take the commentary out of this and not pay someone to work as many days as I'm sure the actor did to record all these responses, they could have had it be computerized. They made Supergiant Games made a sequel game, not a sequel to this game, but their next game is called Transistor, and it's kind of set in the computer world. So if they had decided just to have a text-to-speech uh, respond to you and make comments on what you're doing, that would really fit. And it can fit in a lot of different games. It can fit in a Halo-esque type game, because you could have a Cortana type AI speaking to you, talking about what you're doing. You could do all kinds of things like that. But Supergiant here certainly decided this is the direction they were going, and I'm not going to say it was the wrong direction. It was probably the right direction for this game, because then this would be probably an unremarkable, unrememberable game if it weren't for the fact that it had this new concept, this concept that has, to my knowledge, not been repeated at all since, of the game is commenting on your gameplay. And it does it enough. It happens fairly frequently enough that you don't forget it. And it starts to even feel a little familiar, and you start to go, oh yeah, this happens in all games. But no, it doesn't happen in all games at all. But anyways, that's it for this episode. It's been a pretty long one anyways, because I got stuck. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me through fan funding, click on my name. You can hit the support button on the right. It says support this channel. Any amount you donate will be greatly appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus or Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.